Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, success always seems one step ahead of you? Like you're running in circles while everyone else is racing ahead. If you've ever felt that way, then listen closely, because this story might just change the way you see your own journey forever. There was a young man named Stark. He wasn't born with money, power, or talent that stood out. He was just ordinary. But deep down, Stark had one thing that made him different. He believed that he was meant for something greater. He didn't know what it was, but he could feel it burning inside him like a silent fire. Every morning, he woke up before sunrise and went to work at a small mechanic shop. He fixed cars, cleaned tools, and stayed long after everyone else had gone home. His hands were always covered in grease, his clothes smelled like oil, and his pay was barely enough to survive. But he kept going, telling himself, one day, this will all make sense. People around him laughed. His friends said, "Why work so hard when you'll never get anywhere?" His family told him to stop dreaming and just settle. But Stark refused to believe that his life was meant to stay small. He wanted more, not just for money or fame, but to prove to himself that his life had meaning. Still, the road wasn't easy. There were days when everything seemed to fall apart. His boss shouted at him for mistakes that weren't his fault. His rent was late. His old car broke down. And one night, as he sat alone in his tiny apartment, Stark felt something break inside him. He whispered, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not meant for anything more." Tears rolled down his face as silence filled the room. He stared at his reflection and saw a man who was tired, lost, and on the edge of giving up. But just then, his eyes fell on a small quote he had taped to his wall years ago. It said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Something inside him shifted. He stood up, wiped his tears, and said to himself, "I'm not done yet." From that night, Stark decided to give life everything he had. No excuses, no fear, no holding back. He started studying about engines, design, and technology after work. He watched online tutorials late at night, learning how to build better machines. He began experimenting, creating small engine models from scraps. Many failed. Some even exploded. But he never stopped. Each failure became a lesson. Each mistake became a teacher. Years passed. Stark's life didn't change overnight, but his mindset did. And one day, opportunity knocked. A local car company announced a contest for young inventors to design a fuel-efficient engine. The winner would receive funding and a partnership. Stark entered with trembling hands and a heart full of hope. His design was simple but powerful, inspired by the very engines he had repaired for years. When the results were announced, he didn't win first place. he came second. But that moment changed everything. One of the company executives saw potential in him and offered him an internship. It wasn't glory yet, but it was the door he had been waiting for. From there, Stark's journey took flight. He worked day and night, learning, improving, innovating. He developed new engine systems that made vehicles faster and more efficient. Within a few years, he founded his own startup, Stark Dynamics. It began in a garage, but grew into one of the most innovative automobile companies in the region. The same people who once laughed at him now looked up to him. Reporters asked him what his secret was. Stark smiled and said, "I never stopped believing that my time would come, even when no one else did." But the real success wasn't the cars he built, or the money he earned. It was the man he became. Through every failure, through every lonely night, Stark had learned that success isn't a destination. It's a decision to keep going even when everything tells you to stop. It's about having faith in the dark, trusting that your light will eventually shine. Because when you refuse to quit, life has no choice but to move in your favor. So if you're listening right now, wondering when your moment will come, remember this: Stark wasn't special. He just didn't give up. He failed, he cried, he doubted himself, but he kept moving. And that's what made him unstoppable. Your story might be taking longer than others. You might be struggling, tired, or feeling invisible. But that doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're still fighting. And as long as you're fighting, you're still in the game. Every step you take, every small effort you make, is shaping the person you're meant to become. Dan T. Let the world convince you to quit just because you haven't made it yet. Great things take time. Seeds don't grow overnight. Mountains aren't climbed in a day. Keep pushing, keep believing, and keep working, because your moment is coming. And when it does, every pain, every tear, every lonely night will make sense. You'll look back and say, it was all worth it. So don't stop now. You're closer than you think. Keep going, because the version of you that you dream about is already on its way. Just have the courage to keep walking toward it. Remember Stark's story. He didn't wait for the perfect time. He created it. You can too. Don't give up, because your time will come.